So I just got through watching the Tech Nine versus DNA battle on URL. The first round started with DNA. Immediately out the gate, he came out strong, talking about his tooth. A lot of really funny bars. He was really relentless the entire time. Some of my favorite lines out of there was, "Your Manny Pacquiao, you got to show us the DNA to be the champ." He said, "You're a grown man that likes wrestling. You got Stone Cold as your Twitter background, and you're gonna have everybody hit rock bottom because every time you battle, you're bringing SmackDown," which was cute. Now it got funny. My favorite part in his first round was the real Tech Nine versus you, and doing a compare contrast of Kansas City Tech Nine and Philly Tech Nine, Underground King Tech Nine, and Battle Rap Tech Nine, and ending that whole setup with "You're like Rick Ross because you got hot off somebody else's identity," which I thought was cold. Like, that was nice. And that was DNA's first round. So all in all, great first round for DNA. Round one for Tech Nine. He didn't really come out as strong, but he had the crowd from the beginning. Some notable lines from his first round was, "You're gonna see so many stars like Constellation." Had to bring up the tooth, of course. He said, "What are you, like 19? You've had that messed up tooth for 7 years, so that means you lost it around 12. I ain't gonna say nothing about the tooth, but that had to be the hardest punching 12-year-old I've ever seen in years." I thought that was hilarious. And he said, "You gotta watch your Facebook for crowded MySpace while I'm tweeting," which was funny. So what do you know about getting blowjobs while you're eating, putting duct tape on a woman's face for talking while you're speaking? He did a whole Martin setup with like Roscoe, Shanae, and Martin, which was cute. So to sum all that up, round one, I gave it to DNA. Round two, again, DNA took this in pretty much the whole second round to just expose Tech Nine. He started off with this whole body bag setup where he was talking about, "Yeah, I don't see why the term body bag so big in the URL." And he went in on it, did a whole setup using the word body bag, and ended it with, "I put that slogan." And the reason why I keep saying the word body bag is because I put that slogan, body bag, in a body bag, which I thought was dope. He used his name, Hakeem Mickens, as a setup for a lot of stuff. That was crazy. And then he brought up the fact that he'd been arrested for fraud, author writing, forgery. So yeah, like it was pretty much an expose round, strong round. Tech Nine came out talking about DNA being jumping around, from Grind Time, URL, Time is Money, King Dot, all the different battle leagues. And some of my favorite lines from Tech Nine's second round was, "DNA, what's the code? Don't make me mad at you." I thought that was cool. He said, "I'm around everybody like Waldo." That was dope. "I'm a man." He said, "I'm a man, you're a boy. You probably still get the hiccups," which I thought was hilarious. Ass whoopings coming off flavors like Starburst. All in all, there was a lot of punchlines. Still, I mean, the crowd really was the one hyping Tech up. Second round, I have to give it to DNA. And the third round, DNA did a play on the fact that his name is Tech Nine, so he did like a whole setup with the number 9. Put both, the most notable line for me out of that was, "Put both hands on 9 like a quarter to 10." Dope. He had a firearm setup where he talked about, what I'm saying, all the people in URL that have like gun related names, whether it be Hollow, Calico, of course Tech Nine, all those people. He did like a mesh up setup, which was dope. He pointed out the fact that Tech Nine is essentially like a comedian more than he is a battle rapper. That was dope. My favorite line out of that round was he gave a shout out to like all the major names in Philly, from Meek Mill, Young Guns, Beanie Siegel, Gilly the Kid, all these people. And then he said, everybody that's famous don't show you no brotherly love, which I thought was a dope setup. And then he got into the fact that the only people that he told about him getting his tooth fixed was the URL staff, and somehow that information got leaked out, which was what provoked him to do that vlog about his tooth. So then he went on to like talk, like I'm sure it's not his real tooth, but he pulled out a tooth and like did a whole bit with this old tooth, which I thought was hilarious. And he got into how, you know, if it wasn't for the tooth, Young Ill wouldn't have been able to pull out that dental floss, and X Factor wouldn't have had the authority to tell him about his priorities in reference to his tooth. And ended it with nobody even came to see him or Tech Nine. They just came to see the new tooth, which I thought was, you know, hilarious and a nice way to end it. Tech Nine's third round was probably his worst round out of the three. Oh, in round 2, DNA did freeze up a little bit, but it wasn't enough to really throw things off majorly, but the crowd really did ride him for choking. Now, back to Tech Nine's third round. Tech Nine's third round, I think, out of the 3 was his worst round. Some of the most notable lines to me, because I guess this was supposed to be his grown man bars, real shit talk round. He said, and it's true, it's a true statement, it's better to have it and not need it than to get caught without it, in reference to a gun. He talked about the fact that DNA is young. He's been doing this for years, back when, you know, the guys was doing it in front of Chinese stores. Dope line, giving man his history. And then he said his whole signature, which is get him the fuck out of here, is his old line. And he said, you got that line from me and made a career with it. Monkey see, monkey do, which was dope. And then what was sad was he had mentioned that he wanted to freestyle at the end, and he ended up choking. And then went back to like one of his old schemes. So all in all, I think DNA won at 3-0. There's really no debating it. And yeah, I think really Tech Nine should probably hang it up, because these younger guys, he's really predictable. His setup's really predictable. His whole thing, like, he's really about the performance and not really about the bars. So I have to give it to DNA 3-0. And that is my review of the DNA Tech Nine battle. Like this video, share, subscribe, comment, and see you guys later. Peace.